something, you always get 5 times more than what you really need.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And
that's a good segue to today's topic.
Yeah.
What we really need and what we don't need, and when and where should we be? When and where we should be cleaning out and cleaning up
right.
and getting rid of.
We should be cutting back.
Yes, simplifying our lives.
Cutting back. And I mentioned to you earlier that if you get your mindset of, if you buy one new, get rid of 2 that are old.
Is that your rule of thumb?
Yeah, if you get a new shirt or something, go through your closet and look and see, I haven't worn this one in a year, and I haven't worn that one in a year.
Yeah.
I'll donate it.
So easier said than done. You and I decided to talk about decluttering and organizing and cleaning out and cleaning up and all of that and getting rid of, because January tends to be a good month to do that. A lot of people embrace that concept around this time of year because maybe you collected a lot over the holidays and you've got more seasonal dish towels and you know what to do with, and all of a sudden you open up one closet and leads to another, and then you go up to the kids' bedrooms and you open up your pantry and under the sink, and you realize, we're going to implode here. Because I'll tell you, that's where Phil and I are right now. We are at a point where I don't open certain closets because it's making me just break out into hives. So I am at a point, but this is my personality. I do like to clean up and purge. But to your point, you very easily obviously have the personality to where you're able to buy a new shirt, get rid of 2. But the biggest problem in decluttering and getting rid of things is the emotional attachment to things, stuff.
Well, yes, but that makes you a hoarder, basically, because unless, now I'll give you an exception. If I have something, I have an old shirt from Indiana University where I went to school. I will probably keep that in my closet until they bury me in it. But there's other things. My mother always used to say, and she said this about clothing. She said it about utensils in the kitchen. She would say it about almost everything in the house. If you have not used it in a year, you probably don't need it.
That's pretty generous.
Just
there.
Get
a
rid
year.
of it. We go out, we buy new kitchen utensils, and what do? You put them in the drawer with the old utensils.
Right.
I can open up our drawer right now in my kitchen, and we probably have 6 spatulas.
Yep.
And
I've got the same issue at my house.
What do you need 6 spatulas for?
I know.
So get rid of the old spatulas, and that makes it easier to get the new ones out.
It's, again, I mean, and the kitchen is a good example of a part of your house where you tend to accumulate things.
Right.
Utensil drawer, to your point. Spices, I'm sure. I don't know about you, but I've got spice. And I just learned on Rachel Ray, I don't watch that show, but I came upon it one day. She said, spices do go bad, and you do need to get rid. She doesn't recommend you keep them much longer than 6 to 8 months.
Yeah, look at the bottle. They have expiration dates on them.
Absolutely, and I got more spices and tea. We have collected so much tea. I don't even drink tea, but Emily does, and she's like, oh, this flavor, ooh, that flavor, this. I got a whole shelf of teas.
I'll tell you a story about that. This goes back probably a year. Maybe almost 2 now. Tivana, which was an offshoot of Starbucks.
I know.
And they opened up their own stores.
I saw it in the mall, yeah.
Well, a couple of years ago, they decided that they didn't need to have Starbucks and Tivana, so they were going to consolidate. So they closed all the Tivana stores. And they had this store-wide sale. Online, you could buy it for 50, 60, 70% off. I went crazy.
You like tea?
Yes. I mean, I like tea.
Yeah.
How often do I drink tea? Not very often. But I probably have 8 bags of Tivana tea.
It's good to know.
Which is probably...
It's a good tea.
And it's going to probably get bad by not being used. But I bought all these different flavors. The
raspberry and black tea and green tea,
and bought a special little thing where you boil the water and you pour it in to steep it and all, and then you put it in your cup.
Right.
And especially in the wintertime, I love it. But I'll have maybe during the wintertime 4,
Yeah.
6 cups of tea, but I got enough tea in my cupboard
Right.
right now to last easily for 20
You
years.
need to throw it overboard.
Yes. On next trip to Boston,
That's
I will.
right. Bring your
I'll
tea.
take some.
You know, another thing that tends to accumulate in a kitchen is our mugs.
Yes, that's true.
There was a funny post during the holidays about mugs. The only thing I think you read it. The
only
only thing
present.
we don't need more of in this world
Yes.
or society are mugs.
Buy me anything for the holidays except another mug.
You know, and I was talking. I've been having this conversation about decluttering with friends of mine. I have friends that are moving, have potential moves ahead of them, and so they're going room by room and just starting to purge. I think a good move in a person's life, like relocation, brings about a good purge. It's a good time, to get rid of things. A good move is. But we were talking about mugs. You've got mugs that it's probably very easy. They're very easily to get. It's very easy to get rid of them. But then you've got mugs. My one friend was telling me with pictures of her children's faces on them. You give them as
Right.
gifts, or some kind of
Their children
a
are now
mug
in their
that
30s.
a special mug that came that you bought on a special trip with friends. And so that's, to me, when you go to clean out, getting rid of 5 of your 6 spatulas is not as difficult as getting rid of the sentimental items, even in your kitchen.
Well, that's right. Yeah,
It's an
probably-
emotional attachment, and that's
Yeah.
the biggest. To me, that's the biggest. That's what makes it the most difficult when somebody sets goals of decluttering their home.
Well, and you're better off keep that mug that's got your children's picture on it when they were infants.
Yeah.
Because that means something. But you went to some place and they gave you a mug from the restaurant,
Right.
or from Starbucks, or this place, that place, or you get them from nonprofits
Yeah.
a lot, because they serve you a cup of coffee and tell you to keep. If you don't need those, then donate them or just pitch them.
You should, and donating, and that's something I want to
Now
get
the
to
only
later.
thing is
but
when I get a big mug,
yeah.
I have a tendency to want to eliminate a small mug because when I pour a cup of coffee, I usually pour a little larger cup
Yeah.
of coffee anyway.
Well, I love my mugs, and anybody who knows me well knows I love my. And I have.
Hey, I love your mug too.
You love my mug. I love my mug. I like your mug.
See?
But I have
It's a mug
I
shop.
have seasonal I have seasonal mugs. I have fall mugs. I have Christmas mugs, and those are the mugs. I'm pretty strict about it too. I mean, I'm not going to pour my coffee during.
But you take the summer mugs out and store them someplace and put the winter mugs in?
No,
you stack them.
I put them in the back of the shelf. And for me too, I also used to have a fall breakfast. So on the very, very top shelf, I have probably, 20 different color fall mugs. They match, but they're just different colors and whatever. It's just something that I have a lot of. I just do. I have a lot of mugs, but here's the deal: if you have that item that is that you have a sentimental attachment to, you don't have to get rid of it. You can start to create keepsake boxes, because there are things, for example, up in the kids' bedrooms. I every now and then. So I've got 2 of my children who live outside the home now,
And a third one that's going
and
to
a
be
third one
going.
that's about to go to college, and I will make frequent trips up there and just kind of look. They need to be a part of the cleaning up, because they still have high school moms.
But that's what their
And if they want,
closets are for now.
and that's fine. I'm just saying, because there's a rule of thumb: you either keep, give away, or throw away. Okay, so it's pretty simple. The throwing away is easy. Those are things that are broken. Those are things that are out of date. Those are okay. That's kind of a no-brainer,
Right.
The giving away, that's probably a little harder, because you're like torn. Oh, what if I need this down the road? But to your point, if it's something you haven't looked at or needed in a year or so, get rid of it. Clothes, books. I got tons of books because I still read real books. Books. I got tons of books. My kids have tons of blankets, especially the girls. Blankets. Stuffed animals. And by the way, stuffed animals you can't give away. They don't accept stuffed animals
Right.
at some of these
Right.
organizations. Like TVs are hard to give away. Old paint is hard to not give away, get rid of, I should say.
Right.
TVs, paint. What else is? We have a mattress we're trying
Computers.
to get. We're trying to get computers.
Yeah,
computers.
electronics and stuff.
Exactly. We're trying to get rid of a mattress. Phil was just on the phone today, calling to find out how we get rid of a mattress. That's by the way, that's why you see a lot of mattresses dumped alongside highways, because there are items that you can't just throw away. The trash people will not pick it up, like
Right.
the TVs and the computers and the paint.
Well,
and the paint.
I have a tip for that. What you do is you put it out behind the house or something. If you have an alleyway or even someplace where they can see it, and you put that old mattress out there. You put that old TV out there, and you put a sign on it that says, "Do not touch." It'll be gone in the morning.
Well, actually, there are people that put signs out that says free. Take it, and people will. I don't know, like
but you see, if I see that it's free, the first thing that goes out in my mind is,
what's wrong with it?
Yeah, what's wrong with
Yeah.
it? Like the springs are missing from the mattress, or the TV doesn't work.
Yeah.
But if you just put it out there and just say, "Do not touch."
Yeah.
Gone.
You're doing that whole reverse psychology thing.
That's right.
You see, you're always
like
thinking.
the old couches and stuff like that. Do not.
Well,
touch.
I'm telling you, Phil and I tried to get rid of a couch years ago. Actually, it's been now, and we had Frisco Family Services come out to pick up the couch. And when they came to pick up the couch, they said, "We can't take it." I said, "Why?" There was an ever so slight little. It was a little too worn in one, and I thought, "Are you kidding me?" I mean, there are people out there who could have really used and needed that couch, but they are, so the rules are getting very strict on what you can and cannot donate.
The best place to take that stuff, even if it's got a little stain or something, to a college town.
Absolutely. Fraternity, we'll put it on the front porch.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Just drop that off in front of
Absolutely.
a fraternity house, and it's in their living room.
I agree with you.
10 minutes.
My girlfriend was just telling me, because she's actually really doing a lot of cleaning out in her house right now. And Operation Kindness, do you know Operation Kindness?
No.
It's a local animal shelter. It's down in Dallas. Oh, not in Dallas, but kind of down the tollway here.
Okay.
North Dallas, let's just for our listeners. Anyway, they make it so easy. So you go through your house and you clean up and you decide what you want to donate, and you bag it up or box it up, and you put on the bag or the box Operation Kindness. You have to label it, put their name, put it on your front porch. They come pick it up, and what they do with these things, because I didn't know this it never occurred to me that you could donate household items, even clothing, to an animal shelter. But she explained that what they do then with these donated items is they turn around and sell them, and then the money goes toward the animal shelter.
Right.
And they couldn't have made it any easier for you to.
Well, I get the postcards in the mail all the time for that.
Yeah.
And
Right.
for Ronald
Clothing pickup and whatnot.
house.
Yep.
And you can do that, and it's easy because, like you said, it's right on the front porch. They come around and pick it up. If somebody else doesn't come by and grab it from your front porch first.
Absolutely.
We're going to take a break.
Okay.
And all because we are brought to you today by
I'm gonna eat one right now.
Oreo double stuff, and we don't want anybody to know that we're eating it. So we're going to take a break, and you won't be able to see us because they cover it up on the screen if you're watching us through Facebook. But we'll be right back with more of something to talk about.
3, 2, 1. KVGIRadio.com.
Y'all have really just opened my bubble and just...
KVGI Radio brings you conversation and entertainment. Be sure to follow us on social media. Who streams the best talk shows? We do.
You're listening to KVGIRadio.com. Streaming live from the KVGI studios in Frisco, Texas. Live without limits.
And we're back with something to talk about.
And before we went to break, we were talking about donating items when you get rid of
I was
it.
talking about Oreos.
Well, and then I ate my Oreo.
Yeah.
But I was going to say, that's one of the benefits of cleaning out. That's in fact a huge
Well,
benefit.
it's supposed to be.
Well, but I mean, there are a lot of benefits to cleaning out. They say that cleaning out your home actually builds confidence. It relieves stress. The decluttering. There are a lot of benefits. Obviously, you reap the satisfaction of just simplifying your life, getting order, maintaining order. I mean, there are a lot of benefits to cleaning up, but the biggest is those items that you can donate. There are so many. You can just nowadays with Google, you can find any local organization that would be willing to come pick up, or you can drop it off, or whatever, and then they reap the benefits. What is it? Someone's trash is someone else's treasure, or something like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they either have their own consignment shops or resale shops, or they in turn partner with a resale shop, and then they get some financial benefit to run their organization. A lot of the shelters having to do with animals do that.
Absolutely.
But right down, I think one of the very first ones that I remember was Ronald McDonald House. They always used to come around and pick up clothing, and I don't even know if there is a Ronald McDonald resale shop like Goodwill and some of those, but so that's a great program, because a lot of times the kids are grown. You don't need that baby clothes anymore, and you either just pitch it or box it up and give it to somebody that can repurpose it,
right?
And then Ronald McDonald House will get a benefit from it.
And when you're giving to an organization like Ronald McDonald House, or maybe a women's shelter, or a nursing home, or something like that, they probably have stricter rules. Because, like I said to you, you can't give stuffed animals to certain places because of the germs, I guess. I don't know.
Right.
You can't give blankets and linens and things of that nature to certain places. Back to the animal shelter, however, they will take your blankets because they need them for the bottom of cages, and they will take your stuffed animals because they actually will put stuffed animals in with the dogs and let them, so you can find a place for any item that you want to get rid of, except for those tricky items that you and I talked about before the break, the paint, the TV, and things of that nature.
And you said that, okay, well, if it's a nice coat but there's a couple buttons missing, that resale shop or whatever may say, well, we can't take it. But I can guarantee you there's probably an agency, either through a church or whatever, that can give it to the homeless.
Absolutely.
And if there's a couple buttons missing, they
There's
don't
a
care.
place.
It's just the warmth to cover their body.
There's a place, Salvation Army, and like you said, church. We used to go it's a place called Dallas Life. Me and my girlfriend used to go with our boys when we were members of the Young Men's Service League. It was a mother-son volunteering organization, and we would go down to Dallas Life, and it was open to the homeless.
Yep.
And they could come in, and we would feed them meals, and they had to go to certain, classes and get educated on, and they'd have to maintain their hygiene and make themselves presentable. They were teaching. They were not just feeding them.
Right.
They were trying to get them prepared to go into the real world and not stay homeless for the rest of their lives.
Right.
But yes, they would take things like that. I mean,
another aspect of what we're talking about too is if you have a furniture, you have these larger items, or even a group or a collection of smaller items. It's a good idea. Maybe call your accountant and find out maybe if in fact you're going to donate this, if there is a tax advantage for you. Sometimes they may say, well, no, there's a dollar threshold or whatever, so anything that you donate up to that, you just can't, you automatically get it. Well, then you have to decide if it's a little too ragtag, just pitch it.
Yeah.
But always check to see if there is any kind of a financial benefit for you
Absolutely.
to donate.
Get a receipt.
There's lots of these cars for kids, where people, if you have an old car that doesn't function, it may cost you a bit to have it towed away to a junkyard.
Mm-hmm.
They will come and pick it up, and they either put it in a program to try and fix it to make it roadworthy to resale to raise funds, or they take care of it.
Yeah.
And you can get a tax benefit
you
for
can,
it.
and I know whenever I have donated things, I tend to go to the Frisco Family Services here locally in our town. But they give me a receipt, and Phil always uses it as toward tax. But again, let's get back to the decluttering, the little stuff, and like the household. Let's all go to our home. Think of that closet. Think of that, the bedrooms, the kitchens, the bathrooms. I went under the sink the other day. I didn't go under the sink. I looked under the sink of Phil's sink, and I was like, what is that in the back of this? What is that? I'm like, I picked this odd object out, and it looked like a little plastic spaceship or some kind. Well, it was a hair diffuser that you stick on the end of a hair dryer, and it softly dries your hair. It's a hair diffuser.
Yeah.
Some my women listeners out there know what I'm describing. I don't think I have used a hair diffuser since I had a perm back in the 80s.
And you probably don't have
have
the hair blower
that even matches it. That even matches. And I probably, that thing is probably, because Phil and I have moved around the country at least a half a dozen times. I probably have moved that darn hair diffuser,
Don't get rid of that. We might be able to use that.
It's things like that. And so you gotta take the time. And that's one thing that I was thinking about when you set the goal to declutter your home. I think you have to be ready. And what I mean, I mean mentally, and it's a physical activity too, which can serve as a benefit too, getting up and moving, right?
Right.
But you've got to be ready to do the work, okay? Because it's a physical and mental activity. So my piece of advice, and I'm not a professional in this area, would be, I'm just saying because I know this to be the case for me.
You're doing it right now.
You've got to be ready, mentally and physically ready to take on that goal, that chore. Also, I think you need to, because I am in a mood right now where I really want to declutter my house and really clean it out and get organized. I love the idea of getting organized. I love going in January to Staples and getting my planner and getting my calendars. And I do like to be organized. And I like to clean. Me and Lauren, we're two peas in a pod.
Yes.
But I'm really looking at my house right now, and we've lived there now almost 19 years, okay, 18-ish. And I said to Phil, it is time. I mean, he has got, I walk in and I'm just seeing it all now. The clutter is like screaming at me. It's all I see in my house right now. And so it's overwhelming when I think of decluttering my house. And as I started to put my mind around this topic a little bit more and kind of fine tune it, there was a piece of advice that jumped out at me, and I'm finding it very helpful as I put my mind around this project that is in front of me. And it is to do it in bite-sized pieces. I need to stop thinking of my house and just go, okay, this bookshelf, this bookshelf, period, or this closet. And I have to do it when Phil's not home because he can't get rid of it.
I was going to just say that.
Because he can't get rid of anything.
And also, have you in this process of starting to declutter and all, have you found yourself saying, "Oh my God, I wondered where that was"?
Have I found a hidden treasure?
Have you found just something that you thought you got rid of maybe years ago, and it's still here? And why is it still here?
Well, yes, I did do a lot of cleaning over this past week. I focused on some areas in my house, and I found a cat toy that we'd been missing for a while. Rocky.
Okay.
That was good. We had been looking for this little blue cat toy that he loves. All during the holidays,
Now,
you can
did you
find
give
him.
it back to Rocky?
Oh yeah, he flips and flops and kicks it and bats it around.
And
He loves it.
he's probably looking up at you saying, "Where the hell
It's
has this
about
been
time.
all these years?"
It's about time.
You know, that was my favorite toy.
I know. So anyway, no, but Phil and I, this is another challenge
I
to.
like when you say you like to do it when he's not home.
Well, I'm gonna share a little secret, and I don't. Let's see if he's listening. I don't know. So I had a hysterectomy about 4 years ago, and my mom came to stay with me, and so I was housebound for some days, and I couldn't do much. Mom and I said, "Hey, let's clean out the hall coat closet," and we did it when Phil was gone. And we went to town, and we got in there, and we got rid of broken umbrellas and some boots that were size, 0, and the kids,
Right.
and we got rid of sweaters that had holes, whatever, scarves. We bagged it up. We got in the car, drove on out to Frisco Family Services, and that closet is still to this day very organized. And we just did one closet.
Now, did you get rid of anything of Phil's in
No,
that project?
I don't. I mean, there may have been a coat in there, but no, nothing that he ever missed. So
Well, that was
that's-
my follow-up
yeah,
question was,
yeah.
did you get rid of anything of his? And he has never said anything about whatever happened to that tan jacket
Yeah.
of mine that was hanging in the closet.
well, and he would be the type to do that. And I'll tell you, and so Phil and I are different. I would like to get rid of everything. He likes to save everything. Let me give you an example. He got a new blender for Christmas because the old blender, one of the blades is broken.
You still have the old blender,
Let
though.
me tell you what he did, and I'm so glad I happened to be standing there. So he gets the box, his new blender, takes it all out of the box, gets it all set up and everything. He takes the old blender out of the cabinet where we used to store the old blender. He puts his new blender in its place, shuts that cabinet. I see him, goes around the kitchen to our island cabinets. That's where we store cookie cutters. That's another thing that you can accumulate in a kitchen is
yeah,
cookie
yeah,
cutters.
yeah,
I got
yeah.
500 cookie cutters. Haven't cut a cookie in 20 years, but I got 2 cookie cutters.
You buy them more now, where you just put them on the
It's ridiculous.
the cookie sheet,
Yeah,
make them.
That's right. It's
You
ridiculous.
cut
So
them.
that just reminded me because that's the cabinet where Phil was going, where we store a toaster oven that we never use. We store stuff. So anyway, he goes in and he puts the old blender in there, and I said, "Whoa!"
Still has a broken blade.
I said, "Whoa! What are you doing?" He said, "Well, I'm not going to throw it away." Why? Why aren't you going to throw it away? And that's and he ended up throwing it away. By the way.
Oh, good.
Well, you know who usually wins those. You know that.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
so I just
Like
there was
the couch situation.
That's right. That's right. There was absolutely no logic in keeping the old blender. Okay, and I think he realized that. But again, it's that kind of personality, that makes it very difficult to get rid of things. The act of throwing something away to some people is very difficult.
Right.
Not for me. I can throw something away, and again, back to those keepsakes. Box up the keepsakes, or another piece of advice is to take a picture of the keepsake, and then you've got a little snapshot of the keepsake if it's something that you don't want to keep on hand.
Well, no, the problem with that, though, is then you look at the picture of that keepsake and you say, why did we ever get rid of this? I loved this.
Yeah.
Why did you talk me out of that? It's all your fault.
Right.
Yeah, we got a new set of pots and pans over the holidays. Our kids bought it for us for our anniversary, and right away Lauren wanted to know. Well, does this mean we're going to get rid of our old pots and pans? I said, yeah. I mean, we kept one pan because it was a little larger than any in the new set.
Yeah.
But otherwise, pitch it. Get rid of it.
Right.
Actually,
Right.
we gave it to somebody who repurposed it to another family who could use our old pans because they
Yep.
were still good.
Yep.
We'll pause for another
Okay.
break, and we'll come right back with more of something to talk about and see what kind of trouble we can get into and have another Oreo cookie.
3, 2, 1. KVGIRadio.com.
Y'all really just opened my bubble and just.
KVGI Radio brings you conversation and entertainment. Be sure to follow us on social media. Who streams the best talk shows? We do.
listening to KVGIRadio.com. Streaming live from the KVGI studios in Frisco, Texas. Live without limits.
And we're back with more of something to talk about. Although even when we go to commercial break, we always have something to talk about.
All right, I'm going to ask you this question, and I know Lauren's working a convention right now, but I bet she could answer it. Do you know who Marie Kondo is? Have you ever heard the name Marie Kondo?
Marie Kondo?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Well, so it just so happened I was at the gym yesterday and having a conversation before you and I even decided to talk about decluttering, because a friend of mine is moving, and she was talking about how she's getting rid of things and how she and her husband are putting things in piles, move, get rid of,
And
throw away, whatever.
yeah.
Well, the husband is wants to move items in the house that they haven't touched in a gazillion years. And so he says, well, we'll just move it to the new house, his logic is, and get rid of it there.
No. Wrong.
Wrong. So she's having to be very patient with her husband and explain that that's not the right way to do it. Okay, so whatever. Also, a friend of mine is texting and saying, paying for storage and all of that is expensive. So,
Sure.
That can sometimes help you make your decision on whether or not you're going to keep or get rid of. But Marie Kondo is an author, and she has received this title of being the queen of tidying up. And my friend who's moving told me she read her book called The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. She said it's absolutely hysterical. She puts a lot of humor into the idea of getting your life in order, taking control of the clutter in your life. Decluttering your home extends beyond the physical kind of like the actual items. It goes beyond that. It's a mental thing. It definitely has benefits mentally to your state of mind. So in this book, she writes a lot about why it's important to take control of the clutter in your life. That could be clutter in your home, clutter in your mind.
Right.
So she's got another book called Does It Spark Joy? Because that's one of the questions she has her clients answer when they are holding on to an item so tightly because they just can't get rid of it for some reason. She asks, does it spark joy? What does it mean to you, to your life?
You're saying?
She really makes them go. So she's got some wonderful tips. I want to share them with you quickly.
Okay.
She's got some wonderful, helpful
Marie
tips.
Kondo.
Her name is Marie Kondo. She's the author of The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. Grab the book, buy it online, whatever. It's supposed to be funny and kind of explain the importance of why it's important to declutter your life. Get control of your clutter. Okay, we already kind of said this. Don't look at the whole project. Take it in bite-sized pieces. Closet, or daughter's bedroom, or kitchen, pantry. Maybe not even whole kitchen.
And for the guys,
maybe not even whole kitchen.
garage.
Pantry. Oh, don't take me there. Don't take me to my garage. Oh gosh, that's a whole other ball.
Old sports equipment.
Well, that's where the paint came in, because Phil felt that we needed to save paint from every room in the house, even though
Because just in case you need to touch
it up. But
right?
we've got paint from when Elizabeth's room was pink when she was in. It's been 3 different colors since then, and we still have the pink lid. So
or it's from the first house,
exactly.
and you're already in your third or fourth house.
So anyway,
Yeah.
but the paint is he actually did clean that up the other day. But okay. So look at not even the whole kitchen, because when I look at my kitchen, to your point, one utensil drawer could take you 2 hours. The pantry, that's a big one, right? Okay, so bite-sized pieces. Also, she says it's very important to assess by category, not by space. And here I am, because say, for example, okay, you want to clean out your books, like I have a lot of books. Instead of doing that by room, that is those are items that should be cleaned out by category, because you have books all over the house, as I do. I have books in my guest room closet. I have books over all of Phil's bookshelves in the office. I have books in boxes. I have books up in the kids' room. I have books up in the den. We've got a little den up there. Okay, so that right there is something that I should do as a category. After I identify what category I'm going to clean out, let's say books, put it all in one area together in a pile. And she said it's very important for you to visualize the amount of stuff you have in that particular category. So put it all together. Don't have a pile upstairs and a pile in Phil's office and a pile in the guest bedroom closet. Put it all together, because you have to visualize the amount of stuff that you have in that one category.
Right. That's like you don't really need to keep a set of printed encyclopedias up on the shelf anymore, because you got Wikipedia on your phone if you need to reference anything.
I know. And nobody even really wants these. Listen, a lot of stuff that you're going to get rid of in your house
the
these
libraries won't
days,
take them anymore.
They don't even want this stuff. Yeah. So, you got to find a place that will take these things, and perhaps their antique stores would take. I don't even know.
Well,
but
maybe that's the one reason, to your point, that may be the reason why some people continue to keep things, is because they say, I can't get rid of it.
Exactly.
And, and they just
and you're not going to throw away a book. I mean, for goodness sake. So you got to figure that out. But that's part 2 to the project. Part 1 is just kind of visualizing, putting it all, gathering it all, deciding what you want to get rid of. She does other things, like she in her book, she kind of takes it beyond. She touches things. She says thank you to things before she gets rid of them, because those things did serve a purpose in your life. They defined who you are, kind of thing, kind of that whole
Now
thing.
that you mention that, I think I remember she was on a TV show one day, and she says, when you get rid of these things, before you get rid of them, before you put them in the box, say thank you.
Yeah, that's her.
Thank you for what this has meant to me all these years, and thank you, and then put it in the box and say goodbye.
And she touches the items, and she says it's an important part of the separation process, because each thing in your life, she believes, you help define who you are. Things that you use, things that you didn't use. It also will kind of set you up for future purchases. Would I ever want this again, sort of thing. So every item in your life that you once purchased and kept for many years, say thank you. So that's just something that she believes in.
I have a friend that did that to her husband. Thank you very, very much for everything that you've meant to me all of these years and all. But thank you and goodbye.
Stuart, that's hysterical.
Put him out.
She touched him. She said, "Thank you."
That's it. Goodbye. Get in the box.
You defined who I am. As I go out into the future and look for a new man, I know now what I don't want.
That's right. That's right.
Oh gosh. Anyway, okay. So she's got all that kind of. It's a great book, and those are just some of her top helpful tips that I found very helpful. Because again, for me, the biggest part is taking the first step and just doing it, putting your mind around it and wanting to do it, because it is a physical job to declutter, but you're going to feel it's going to be liberating. You're going to feel clean. You're going to feel good. You will have maybe donated to a worthy cause. I mean, only good can come out of decluttering and simplifying your life, right? Oh, just talking about it makes me feel good. I'm envisioning my house all cleaned out. Stuart seeing me coming out of my chair.
And Phil coming home and saying, "What happened to all the furniture?"
Exactly.
You know?
No, I know. I'm telling you, that's my biggest challenge because I got a husband. It's tug of war. It's like I'm a little bit country, I'm a little bit rock and roll. It's like I
Right.
want to get rid of, he wants to keep. So that's something else that she doesn't touch on that. I don't think she touches on relationships and how this can possibly,
Well, if you don't agree upon it, you're going to have a problem with the relationship.
It does,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, paper something else that's interesting because, you've got bank statements, you've got
Which you have to keep
tax
for 7 years.
tax returns. Yeah, you've got all that sort of receipts. Receipts are something that you can maybe keep for maybe months and get rid of because it gets to a point where you're not going to return the item.
And I will tell you one good thing to invest in. Go down to Staples and get yourself, you can get it for about $30, $40. Get yourself a paper shredder.
Yeah.
Cross-cut paper shredder. And that way,
Yeah,
when you
absolutely.
go through your old, like your bank statements and all at the end of the year, you don't need all of those old bills that you've been keeping just to verify that you made the payments.
Right.
So go through, but shred them.
Shred them.
Because if you throw them, you don't want dumpster divers to go in to
Yeah,
find your address and your
absolutely.
account numbers and stuff. So for
How
about
much you think a shred? Oh, you just
50 bucks
Okay.
maybe, but the cross-cut shredder is
Absolutely
better.
My mother-in-law's a big shredder. She shreds a lot. Now Phil shreds, but another thing Phil does. We've got an outdoor living area with a fireplace.
So you can
a real
burn
wood
it.
burn. So last weekend I think it was, we were watching football on TV outside. He just got the fire going and he just sat there while he was watching the game and just tossed. He had a
Yeah.
He kind of gets bags of dates that are ready to be shredded because he saves
Yep.
for as long as it's recommended. And you can Google like your bank statements and receipts and tax returns and deposits and withdrawal slips and things of that nature. Each kind of one has a different recommended time to save and
right.
whatnot, so you can find that online.
Yeah.
But Phil has a bag of items that are ready to be either shredded or burned, and we sit out there and we were basically burning, yeah,
And you keep warm at the same time.
and keeping warm and
Sim.
yeah. Our neighbor's like, I said we're burning bills over here. And she's like, I was wondering what was burning over there. I said, well, basically our life savings account.
Just there we go.
So that's something else that is.
It's been a great show and all.
Are we already at the end?
Yeah. Before we leave, I just want for all
Yes,
of our
let's
friends
do
that are listening to us, and we have both been working with the Be the Difference Foundation here in Dallas, which helps women with ovarian cancer. And they are coming up with their big fundraiser called A Wheel to Survive. And if you go to the gym and you work out on Peloton and all that kind of stuff, or you just want to help out, I encourage you to go to www.wheel2survive.org. And I'll learn a little more about it. And if you and some friends want to get together and ride in the event and raise some funds for women with ovarian cancer, do so. We'll be
What's the
passing
date?
it. It's on February 23rd.
Okay.
2/23/2020. And also, thanks again for being with us. We've
Great
had a
show.
good
Okay,
time.
get home and declutter. I know Lauren's going to be all over this one.
So, yeah, go over to Home Depot or something and pick
Hey,
up some boxes or bags.
The Container Store is a fun place to shop when you're
Or
organizing.
look at the
and
neighborhood.
Staples.
See somebody that's moved into the neighborhood
yeah.
and they want to get rid of their boxes.
Absolutely.
That's a good thing to do. But like you said, be sensible about it, but be practical about it. And what you give away may be helping somebody else too.
Absolutely.
So, good having you again, and Happy
Thanks.
New Year again.
Happy
And
New Year.
we'll be here next week at 11 o'clock again with another something to talk about. We're not sure what it will be, but I can assure you it's going to be fun. It always is. So
All right, well, have a great weekend.
you too. You too.
Everybody out there. We got storms a coming. Hunkered.
Yep. Stay warm and
And-
dry. Okay. Take care. Good.